The other day, I posted a video about hustle culture, and in it, you can see a few behind the scenes clips of me making content with my cell phone and tripod. So many people had questions about my process and equipment, so I thought I'd do a more in depth video on how a lawyer grew to be a food photographer and content creator. Believe it or not, I started taking photos using my webcam on my laptop, and mostly I just took pictures of myself and sometimes my family because I was too shy to ask anyone else to model for me. I mean, I was carrying around my laptop everywhere I went to take pictures. Yeah. Finally, in 2010, I upgraded to my very first DSLR camera, a Nikon D90, and I continued to learn by just taking pictures of myself. I also had to travel a lot for my lawyer job, so sometimes I would take my camera with me and I would take landscape photos. Not only did I learn a lot about how to use a camera, I also learned how to edit my photos using Lightroom, or back at that time, I think it was Aperture. Eventually, in 2016, I started the Korean Vegan, and of course, I shifted my lens from myself and from people to food. And as you can see, it was a little like starting from scratch. I took a lot of photos with my phone at first, but eventually I began to use that very expensive camera because I didn't want it to go to waste a lot more. And I discovered that many of the same rules for taking photos of people apply to taking photos of food. In 2018, based upon both my writing and my photography, which was on Instagram, I was offered a book deal. My book was eventually published in 2021, and honestly, one of the best compliments I get is, "Who did you use for your photography?" And I love being able to say, me. And then in 2020, I started a TikTok, and once again, I started from scratch. My first viral food video, I literally just propped my phone up against the wall while I was cooking. Eventually, I started using the tripod you saw in the beginning of this video, which honestly, I wish I could tell you where to find it, but the company no longer makes that tripod. So I do have an Amazon storefront where you can find a very similar tripod if you are really interested. Eventually, though, I started using my DSLR again because, I had so many cameras for the food photography I had to take for my cookbook, and I figured I might as well use those for my videos as well. And that's how I started creating these more cinematic videos like the ones you see today. So I thought it would be really fun to head into my studio where you can have a real behind the scenes peek into my creation process. I use 3 cameras, the first of which is this Canon Mark IV with a zoom lens, which affords maximum flexibility. This is what I call my front-facing camera, and I move it around all throughout my shoot so that you get this sort of more bokeh, like lovely cinematic effect. This is going to be my more artistic camera. Attached to it is the receiver for my lavalier microphone, which I use Rode. My second camera is the Canon Mark III, and it's what I call my side camera. It captures that side view, the close-up of my hands. And the third camera is attached to a heavy-duty C-stand so I can capture that overhead view that is so iconic to food videos. It's my very first mirrorless camera. It's a Canon E6 and I love it. Behind me, I have a baker's shelf filled with props that I've collected over the years. And against the wall, I have a few food photography backdrops that I use for my food photos. And then I have a closet filled with other equipment, including more tripods, lighting, chargers, cables, selfie sticks, microphones, and clamps. Here's my workstation where I record my podcasts and my voiceovers using a Shure M7 mic. I'm recording right now on this exact same workstation, and that's it. I hope you enjoy this BTS look into my process, and I just want you to remember it took me 10 years to get to where I am in my creative process. So don't feel like you have to do this overnight. If you're not where you want to be artistically, creatively, or wherever it is that you're on your journey, it doesn't mean that you have to give up. It just means that it's going to take a little bit longer than maybe you expected. All right, have a good day.